When you subscribe to them, there's several options for your recipients. There's you can add multiple names in your twos, your CCs, VCCs. There's a reply to that, if anybody responds that gets this subscription, it would go back to the user that you define in that reply to field. You can add priorities, comments, whatever you want to see go out on the email. For whatever report you're selecting, you're going to see all of the drop downs, and it goes down a little bit further on that right-hand screenshot of what the drop downs would be within the report are the options within the subscription to be sent out. Once you set up the schedule, which can be once, it can be daily, weekly, monthly, however often you want this to go out, it'll generate an email to your users, and your user does not have to be within Accu account. This can go to anybody in your bank. They'll get an email with the exception information within it, or it can be sent out as an attachment. So if you want it to go out as a PDF or an Excel spreadsheet, that's possible as well. Yes?
Can you set those up so that we choose what defaults are checkmarked on there, so we don't always have to constantly uncheck the ones we're not using or set it in the format, so that it would automatically set to the default that we're using consistently?
Would that be for just the subscription or for the report in general?
For the subscription, so like every time we're building a new subscription, it sets it with our default, so we don't always have to uncheck and then always have to, if we're always sending them out as Excel, that'll always be our default, that it allows us to choose those.
We cannot change the default as far as if it's going out in Excel and whatnot. If there's a default set up, we can undo it, so you're not having to check that default value. But if we set something up as default, it's going to be on your report that way as well as the subscription. We don't have a lot of flexibility, again, because we're using a third party for the reports, but hopefully that's something that we'll be able to drill into a little bit more in the future. So that's a very high-level overview of some of the exception features. We know that you probably want to learn more, especially for those of you that aren't yet using the exception tracking within the system. But we do have a documentation site where you can find a lot of the information that we cover today and some of the training materials. And of course, we have our weekly webinar training that we'll be setting up. So exceptions are one of the most popular topics. So we typically have an exception training once a month or so that we'd like you to get signed up for. But if for some reason it doesn't work with your schedule or you can't get all of your users in there, we are going to start pre-recording training so that you can go in and you can view those after the fact. So I'll go ahead and open up for questions. Anybody have anything that they want to discuss?
Is there going to be any focus given on exception letters in the format of that? Because we like to use it, but the format isn't very pretty. So, like for
there are, yeah, there's going to be some enhancements done. I don't know if Alan, you want to talk on that?
One of the big enhancements we're doing is definitely going to be emailing notice letters out. A lot of banks want to just eliminate that paper. They want to eliminate, the cost of delivery. So, but you're specifically, are you looking at changing? Who am I talking to?
Yeah, just the format. There's no way to change, like even if we want to put different bullet points in, because it just doesn't look very attractive to send to our customers at this time, although we like to use it.
Okay, and that's kind of holding you back from using it right now?
That's the only thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we can look into that because, like I said, it's very just text. I mean, it's just,
right.
It's more like a mail merge right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But you just want to have more control, if I understand you, maybe more control over the fonts and the formatting of it?
Right.
Okay.
Right. That's all we're looking for, because it's a great tool.
Yeah,
Jeanette?
I love notices too, but I think we need more levels of notices, like a first request, a second request,
Yes.
third request. So you can have a nice letter, a not so nice letter, and a more.
Yes, and that is absolutely, a progression of notice letters is absolutely on our roadmap as well. And so we will have the ability to say, after this, send this first letter, then we'll progress to the next letter, and then maybe stay on the third letter forever, but yes, yes.
And then combining all the exceptions that are currently expired to make one notice, even if they don't expire on the same day. Because if they have a expired personal financial statement and an expired tax return and insurance on a vehicle loan, I want one notice.
Okay, so one notice with multiple.
If there's a way that they can look at that customer and say, okay, I need to create a notice, and these are all the things that are needed.
Wait,
We
I think
do
we
have
can-
a
we
way
can
of,
do that
yeah,
now,
we
right?
have a way of doing that, as long as the letter that you're using is the same on all of the exceptions. The paragraph doesn't have to be the same, but the paragraph will get repeated, so we can go in and just have basically a list made of all of the exceptions needed. And that's something we can get together and kind of set up.
So they don't have to expire on the same day. That's what we, okay,
Yep.
I want that.
Right, because you can pull in multiple notice types or whatever, or even expirations onto one common letter, absolutely. They don't
Okay,
have to
good.
expire on the same
I
day.
need that back.
So then we have to call you, Jamie, to get that set up? for
You
us
could
in our
do it, you could do it on your
Yeah.
own. That might be a great topic for, one of our upcoming trainings, maybe get you guys involved in there and show you how you can set that up.
That would be great.
Right.